Welcome back to the Roadside Rescue YouTube channel. I'm Ernest, and there's a Volkswagen Beetle behind me. I've worked on it once before, had some pretty bad damage underneath, and I got that taken care of, but it's got a bad driver's axle right now. I think it's a 2015. If so, then this might be the best and first tutorial for 2015 Beetle axle, because I didn't see any online. I was trying to look and see if the axles are bolted in, because I know a lot of Volkswagen have those, to see which kind of bits I needed to bring with me, triple square or whatever. And it looks like the axle just pops in like normal. Either I got the wrong axle, or this is just different than most typical VW axles that people are used to. So let's dig in there and get this replaced. Hopefully it doesn't take more than an hour and a half. Pretty crazy little axle here. I was like, the bolt goes in and the threads are way down inside of that hole. Let me double check and make sure it fits this car. You can just see how bad that old axle is. It wasn't even, or at least I didn't notice it that bad last time, but definitely looks the same. No bolts on there, nothing crazy on there. So there's got to be a axle nut or axle bolt in there. And good thing I brought my locking lug nut kit. Let's get started. Okay, here we go. Just gonna sit on this and lay on that. This one, a little small. Bigger. Close. This one then, no. Which one is it? This one. Dang. Found it, finally. Last guess, maybe? Okay, 12-point axle nut sockets, but that might be smaller than my smallest one. What are we gonna have to disconnect here? Probably outer tie rod end and lower ball joint, I'm guessing. No, probably just lower ball joint. Looks like a nice design. Nothing over here really connecting it. So I think when I do that, I can swing it up this way and get it out. So that leaves that and those. Probably, yeah, just take it out with these three. Nice and easy like that. Nice. All right, well, my smallest axle nut socket's a 29 and that's a 24. So we're gonna use the 𝐿𝐴 because I've got a 1/2" 24 to 12-point in my toolkit, which is always a nice reliable backup, so I don't have to worry about like having those weird 12-point impact sockets, because if that explodes, whatever, I only use them every once in a while. That and this. Okay, here we go. Fingers crossed. This has the juice. Easy. Don't even know what I was worried about. I could have probably taken that off with just a normal wrench. As I'm saying, man, stuff just doesn't get rusty here. That helps. That certainly helps. Yep, looks identical. Those threads are way back in there like the other one. Make sure I didn't have some knockoff part or something. Okay, now we just gotta get it out of the transmission. I'm gonna bring the other one over here with me in case it drips any fluid. I'll stick it in there fast. I've got the car jacked up pretty high this way, so hopefully it doesn't leak anything in the first place, but if so, hopefully that helps a little. But really it's pretty quick. You just pop it out, maybe a couple drops on the ground, I'll put something underneath it, and we'll slide the new one in. Dang, somebody did some custom repairs on this. License plates. Okay, I've been out here trying to get this axle out for a little while. You can see it's the boot came off, it came apart. I had my slide hammer, but I couldn't get my slide hammer tool for axles. Behind it wasn't enough space. It was too thick, so I couldn't get any pry bars either, because that's really the only hole I have to go up at it to, and the ground's right here, so I'd use my like 10-inch pry bar to get to that, and I finally got it beside it, and as I tapped it up beside it, as the pry bar expanded, it knocked it out. So finally, you just saw it's starting to separate. I'm gonna get that other axle ready and slide it in. It's been a little over half an hour, so I think I was expecting it to take an hour and a half or so. Not too bad. Okay, that socket is dry. The seal looks good. You want to be careful prying behind that, just not to pry onto the seal at all. And like I said, when I pried up beside it, I pried along the edge right there. I had to be super careful, but you can see that seal's still good, and this axle can pop right in. You always want to make sure it gets all the way down. So it's nice when they're new. Sometimes you can pull on them to pull them apart, but really it's just the boots holding them together at that point. But when you're putting them together, you can always tap on them hard enough to rip your gloves. If that didn't work though, my plan was going to be to go back to my truck and get my drill, to drill a hole through it, to run a hole bolt through that hole with a chain attached to it, and then to yoink that with a slide hammer with that hole basically in this, because as you could see, I knocked the boot off. I thought there was a lip, it was just the boot, and after that there's nothing really to grab onto. Well, the reason my customer knew they needed to replace their axle, and one of the signs of needing to replace your axle is usually that it vibrates heavily under acceleration. So like when you're trying to get on the interstate or when you push the gas pedal down, you get some bad shaking. That's usually an axle that's having an issue. So my customers know they needed to do this for a couple of months, and luckily we got it done for them before anything serious happened. If you like this video, make sure you're subscribed and you leave it a thumbs up, and check out the next video up here. That's a job well done. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. See you on the next episode.